It's amazing to see how varied our cattle industry is across the country. The land, the weather, and the pressure of urban development are all factors that vary widely from one state to the next. And at the same time, cattle producing families have so much in common as they meet their own unique challenges. As we continue featuring our Regional Stewardship Award winners, we now visit the Region 4 award recipients from Texas.
In Central Texas, the day is still new as Bruce Berg and his wife Barbara are out checking on their cattle. Bruce grew up on a Missouri farm, but has built a career in the financial industry. When his job took his family to the Dallas area, Bruce realized his dream of owning a ranch.
I grew up in Missouri on a farm and ranch. Actually got a degree in animal science and a master's in animal physiology, and went to work in Northwest Iowa. Became interested in the markets and actually ended up working on Wall Street. Went to New York, had an opportunity to come back to Texas. Immediately after coming back to Texas, I knew I wanted a ranch. So we run a mostly purebred Angus herd. We actually have one Charolais that is a resident animal. But otherwise, they were all originally brought from Nebraska for the genetics, and we run about 200 mama cows and raise replacement heifers, and steers are actually marketed through the folks that we buy the bulls from.
Bruce first returned to his farm roots 21 years ago. He bought and improved 2 other Texas properties before buying what is now Rocosa Ridge Ranch in 2006.
What's unique about it is it's really 2 ranches in one. The north end is really tall grass prairie, and it's meant to be open. And it's a good example in a lot of areas of the remnants of what the prairie looked like originally. And it's fantastic for cattle. The south end, like I say, has the cliffs and bluffs, and it's just completely different topography. It's actually managed more from a wildlife standpoint, and the cattle are really there to enhance the property from a wildlife standpoint.
When the Bergs first bought the ranch, the land was in poor condition and all the cross fencing was gone. One of the first priorities was setting up a rotational grazing program, installing 12 miles of fencing, and beginning the work of improving the grasses and native range.
The biggest thing is once you go into a rotation, the carrying capacity of the land went up considerably. The quality of land, we burnt all 6,000 acres through controlled burns with the help of the NRCS, and that did a tremendous amount.
The way Bruce maintains the vigor of these grasses is by his proper grazing. He implements a simple rotational grazing plan, but he moves when he needs to move. And his key indicator are these bunch grasses, in which he takes about a quarter of the standing forage, but he ends up leaving half of that plant material for the resource itself. What that does is that maintains that plant vigor. It keeps the ground covered. It keeps the soil moist for times when we get into drought.
By keeping stocking rates low, Bruce has a cushion when drought occurs, and his cattle are able to graze year-round with no supplemental hay. The Bergs have built a series of ponds and run 19 miles of pipeline to water troughs, allowing them to distribute grazing across the land more evenly. Bruce and his crew have also battled invasive cedar trees while using an innovative partnership to help fund the effort.
And so we actually worked a partnership with Fort Hood, a mitigation project, and we saved and preserved that old growth cedar, which is a nesting material for the warbler, and we actually used the money from that mitigation project to do the cedar removal on the rest of the ranch. So we've gone into an extensive cedar removal program, and on the south end we ran 2 skid steers clipping cedar for about 53 weeks, and on the north end we've been running about 4 months here. Again, the control burn helps on the small cedar. The large cedar we had to actually clip it, but it opens up the land.
Native grasses are reviving. A barn built in 1896 has been restored, and the Bergs are seeing wildlife increase as their cattle herd thrives. As committed as Bruce is to seeing the land improved, he's equally passionate about sharing the story of caring for the land with people from urban areas.
From a leadership standpoint, I think he's in a class of his own. From bringing out folks from the cities to learn about resource management, from working cattle in the pens to teaching a youngster how to hunt for the first time.
A Lone Star land steward, Bruce is committed to taking step-by-step actions to ensure Rocosa Ridge Ranch gets better every year. That approach is paying off for his cattle, for the land, and for his own peace of mind.
You know, you catch a summer evening and you're sitting out in the pasture and watching the cows graze, and it's about as close to being in church as you can get. Each year we try and look at it again. At the first of the year, we look back on it and say, what are the big projects that we're going to try and accomplish this year to make this ranch better, have better carrying capacity, and make it better from the wildlife and from the cattle standpoint. And that's my view with regard to managing the land, is making sure that it's better again the way you leave it, because you're a steward for the time you have it, and then after that it's somebody else's job, and you hope to leave it better.
Help NCBA members improve the sustainability of this great industry by becoming a member of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Just give us a call at 1-866-USA-BEEF or visit the website beefusa.org.